stay outside. See? What?
He was down bad.
Seems to be back and forth. We talked about how yesterday was essentially even. No one ended up winning, and Little and company trying to make it theirs. I don't believe they actually ended up winning out on last game's POI battle, but back over towards the center of the map, we've got Wheels, we've got Taltai, Caleb off in the distance, and we talked about this as kind of a scarecrow base. They're not going to sit here for the entirety of the game because it's made out of wood. It's so easy to just shoot on down, but they're just trying to scare people away from claiming that area because they want it for themselves. Eventually, you may see them fortify it up with metal, with brick, move to another place. But again, it's still first zone, and this is where West starts to calm down a little bit. We've had our initial POI fights, and everybody is just trying to find their space here in the zone.
Yeah, and you can also see them rocking that FNCS outfit that is in the item shot. You can take that out. Has the logo on it and the coloring for this season to kind of celebrate it. It will end up being exclusive, so don't forget to get it before it's gone. But these guys competing for a more exclusive cosmetic, the Axe of Champions. They want that first place spot. They want all the glory that comes with it. And continuing to just kind of recycle the wood here, build up to try and get some sight lines, distribute utility evenly, and just get some tags. Not looking to do anything special right now. They just want to hold on because with 5 matches left, they know as long as they keep making end games, they'll put themselves in a spot where they're able to contest for first place.
I gotta say, that outfit looks real good with the FNCS backsling from last season as well. I got both the combo going, and I am a little jealous that, you know, there's not like a matching pickaxe quite yet for it. I know these guys want it as well, and then they'd have the whole outfit. They'd have the pickaxe, the outfit, they've had the back bling as well, and it would just look, oh, I want to see that from the winners at any region, especially here in West. I would love to see that picture on Twitter later. But moving over to Bluzro, Nigel, and Nani there. 8th place, they jumped up a spot coming in from that last game. Zone is pulling more towards Sweaty, and this will be an interesting one. We haven't really seen how this one will play out. But 42 points in their first game is the second game is really great.
Yeah, but they need to be careful with this rotation. Without having the chonkers, the rotation over the water really isn't that efficient, but they will end up picking up some mechanical parts, dropping as their ride gets abused here. And this is just so often you can see players on top of those Guardian Spires or on top of the hotel over at Sweaty, just raining shots out and making this rotation just a little bit more difficult. And I also gotta say, what's up to everyone? Hit me with your favorite emote right now if you have any of those throwables, the consumables, or the toys. Right now, just toss them up at the screen. Go on, get them up there, huck them up there, hit the screen, because we're going to be chilling for a bit. This is the time and place in NA West where not a whole lot goes on. They're going to be looking for tags. They're going to be looking to trade out. And I'm going to be looking on that stat on the left-hand side. Bluzro's trio has finished top 5 in the last 3 games. Talk about momentum.
And they didn't even let came out swinging. Temple gonna go down, I think, just to zone as they're trying to rotate in. They had that fight, and with where it ended up pulling, I don't think it was that easy to find those Storm Surge tags. But look at where their zone is. The observers are showing us that map. It is centered up around Holly and Sweaty, and that means Arkram, Epic Whale, and Rex are gonna have such a priority on this zone and these tags as well.
But you can also tell, you're seeing in the bottom right-hand corner of the map there is no one in the center of the map. So there's going to be a lot of rotations and a lot of gatekeeping going on. And what we mean by that is the teams who are on the outside of that new safe zone, the ones who are just inside the white circle, all those triangles are going to be pointing towards the outside and raining shots on the players who try and rotate in, forcing them to burn utility, potentially burn hard mats, and making their endgame a little bit more difficult. Because at the end of the day, Fortnite is a game of resource management. How well do you manage your resources in order to set yourself up for success? And right now, Bluzro, Nigel, and Nani doing a good job of that.
They're not even content with just having that 300 damage above. They want more. And that is great to see because we've talked about it. It's not safe if you don't keep getting that damage because everyone else is looking for it. As we get to move over towards the Spire into Boney Burbs, we see Nate, Lizzie, and Riverside 14 points coming out of that first game, looking to get a little bit more. Again, they do stay in 5th place after that game, so they're not too far. Caleb actually going to go down. All of a sudden, Nico going to be the one that takes him on down. Maybe a headshot bow coming through, maybe a fight somewhere else on the map, but we definitely are going to hop over there soon to see exactly what's happening, because that is 1/3 of first place going out that this early before placements are even close.
Yeah, 3 more trios will need to go down before those first 5 points come through, and you can see Blizzy, Riverside, and Co., who just got abused on the rotation last time, trying to avoid that now by going a little bit earlier. We'll swing on over, and it looks like that finish ended up coming through there. Yep, Caleb down and out. So we talked about how the consistent trios, when facing up against adversity, one slip can often mean a lot. However, they do still have a priority position. You can see bottom right-hand corner, they're on the inside and everyone else is on the outside. However, just above the map, they're below that storm surge threshold. That zone's closing 15 seconds, so they need to find shots and just barely going to be able to tick themselves above. The accuracy is really going to come into play here.
They don't have a lot of ammo. Tautai 142 medium bullets there. That's not going to last them even when they need the surge. Yes, you're going to keep getting these tags, but going into this mid game, look at where Zone is pulling, and you set this up. If Zone pulls this way, everyone is going to have a very hard time. And we are going to see it right there. Shots continue to come through for Tautai. They're still below 21. Everyone else on this edge of zone must be below surge. Some people here are continuing to get that damage to push them on down. Pat, losing Caleb there is going to hurt so much right now.
I'm not sure they're actually under, because Storm Surge should be firing on them, but they're not taking damage. It looks like Wheels is able to find some tags there, but they're just barely flirting on the edge of it, going back and forth. We'll hop back over. Match number 7 winners up against it, but actually the ones up against it are Cuff, Fecoy, and GodQ, as Storm Surge is obliterating their resource pool, and I think all of those elims actually ended up going over to them. That could be a swing of 6 points. They should close in on the 5 points from the placement there, and boom, Storm Surge comes back over, and as a duo under threat, there's only 2 other trios we have to get it, and you don't have time to both pop minis and trade shots out. They need to find somebody, and they have to find somebody quick, and you're not really going to have an option. Each one of those minis, you're effectively only buying yourself 2.5 seconds to trade shots out. That Storm Surge coming through, 25 damage every 5 seconds to the trios that have done the least amount of damage. It occurs 3rd, 5th, and 7th zones. So right now you can see bottom right-hand corner, 3rd zone still going on, and they still need to find tags. They've burned through pretty much all of their shields. Taking a big pot isn't time efficient either. Tautai is about to go down, and despite the wanting to be able to look for tags, they can't, as Javen and Nico and Jaden just rotate right past them. They didn't have the ability to poke out, because if they didn't take their shields, they would have just been straight eliminated, and their opportunity to stay in the game could pass them by. Tautai goes down, and it's all going to be on the back of Wheels, who actually doesn't have to peek here. That was a huge mistake. He was down under. Look at the top left corner. Storm Surge was turned off. 70 players were left. He could have just gone and stayed in front of the zone, but instead the pressure getting to him, and for the first time in what seems like forever, and I think it might be the entirety of this tournament, they're down. They're outside of the cascading placement points, and that's going to give an opportunity for 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th to potentially close that gap.
And that is so great for Favs, Kenshi, Snacky, who want to retake their lead. Only 5 points behind coming into this game. Parker, Epic Whale, and Rex were a little bit further away, but this zone is set up for them. They have not had to move at all. It's right near Sweaty Sands. They should have priority. They should be set up to win this game. They can do it. We've seen it before. They have been playing a lot of low ground this tournament. If any game, if any zone is a high ground zone for them, it is this one. Temple, Zinx, and Little, though, are struggling to get in. We saw the knock come from zone earlier. Temple, running out of builds, only has bandages to try to get on in, and they're getting in. Rex is going to get a knock in the feed there, top left-hand corner of your screen. They're able to get in, but they are going to get Zinx knocked. Little will be able to pick him up, but we say this a lot. At what cost? Yes, you have your entire trio up, but...
And look at the 2 trios who they're pinned against right now. You have Riverside, Nate, and Blizzy, as well as Snacky, Kenshi, and Favs right there. And the shots and the sprays are starting to come out. They know that this trio is a little bit in shambles. You see, Temple's out of build, so they're trying to use the harpoon to get him up here. You saw him parkouring early. A little, trying to go for the nice tech, but not not quite gonna get it. They might just have to be satisfied with the 11 points that they got via the elims in the 25 place special, because there's so many trios stacked on top of them. They had to invest so many hard mats. You can see they're actually looking to go for a last ditch drop effort here. Caesar's a solo, and they might be able to get it. Yes, they will. They'll get that refresh, and they should be able to pick up some of those mats as long as they go late. They drop down in front of them. Fast, Kenshi, and Snacky are rotating, and they could get a little bit of respite. They could follow this path and have a safe rotate, but keep an eye on the bottom right, as there's so many trios, so many triangles between them and the zone. And as I say that, Little eats a couple of shots there to make it just that much more difficult.
Zone wants to keep pulling west, and it is. Look at Kenshi, Snacky, and Fabs trying to make their way through. That is 5th place right in front of them. And right in front of 5th place is 3rd place there. Snacky getting in. Blizzy is going to go down there. That one's going to go over to Epic Whale. Snacky trying to get in. The shots will break his way on through, but they're getting pinched from all different sides. Backs up to grab that legendary pump. Blizzy going to go down. Riverson will fall as well. Only looking to see what Nate can do. His shots come through. Snacky go down very low. Is going to get that knock there onto whomever that was, but a trade out going to come through. I think Kenshi actually going to get another one there. Continued pressure. Kenshi will fall. Actually, Fabs very weak as well. This is Little. This is them. They're coming through. They're trying to take down 2nd place. All of a sudden, they went from shambles to having Loop, and Zinx is going to go down. That's going to be Arkham taking him, and look, Snacky and Fabs are so weak. 2nd place could go down, and you know what that means. If they go down, this is Arkham, this is Epic Well, and this is Rex's chance.
And we're over by the logjam, but the real logjam happened right there in the tarp, as you talked about. 3rd, 5th, and 6th all directly on top of each other. And Snacky, Kenshi, and Fabs ended up on the back side of that. We talked about it, them just getting pinched right now, but they were able to stay up on their feet, but in such a tough situation. And unfortunately, too, Snacky was just whiffing some key shots when he had the ability with that legendary pump. It could have made a difference. And as I say that, the zone is going to make a huge difference here, as they have a max pull to half and half out. We're still going farther to the southwest, so you can see Arkham, Rex, Epic Whale, they're out, they're gone. They say, we want nothing to do with the action that's happening on the northeast side. We're going ahead. They're going to break the line of sight up with a little bit of builds, because as long as they can clear over this hill, they should have a safe rotation, as there's only 2 trios who are in the zone. And some brilliant shots from Arkham, back-to-back 40s, and I think there was actually an assist in the knock. Yes, there was. He got all of them. Great combo effort there to take down Bluzro, who just gets picked off, and they're going to get a free pass over here as we pull into one of the farthest possible southwestern zones we have here, just barely on the side of the BR Island. And Arkham, Rex, and Epic Whale, great position, and they're in a honestly the prime position to be able to take over control here, because we know that Fast, Kenshi, and Snacky ended up facing a ton of adversity there in the last rotation. They're in shambles, whereas these guys, front of the zone, plenty of mats, they are set.
And they have 4 elims as well coming in. They were behind by, I believe, 14 points. That is making up a big chunk of the difference, as well as those placement points coming through. Vernie going to go down. Snacky, though, still operating, trying to get that elimination. Will confirm Fabs there as well. But look at Snacky. He is in the thick of it, trying to get on out. Snacky 50 builds, though. They can get out. They can survive. Dropping a match over is going to pick some back up. Only 7. Give it all over to Fast as you lead us there. Snacky does have that epic pump, trying to make something happen on the backside zone, but losing Fabs in the meantime has to get over. Will use the harpoon to get their way on through. It will break that wood so well, and they get a little bit of time, but not for long. A shot gonna come through. They put the damage down. Snacky operating so well, not missing when it matters the most. The fire is gonna come through, though. They gotta get out. It's gonna burn. That's 1 tick. Just a little bit.
Yeah, he knows he got a 141 tag, but they should have the utility above him. You can see Snacky and Fabs hip to hip there. That's the Aura and the Catwoman on the low ground. Bakata and Midi. So currently we have 6th place on the high ground, top of the screen, both on low ground, bottom right-hand corner. That's 2nd place with Snacky and Fabs as a duo. And then the bottom left-hand corner, we have Arkham, Rex, and Epic Whale. That's 3rd place up as a trio. So that's 2nd, 3rd, and 6th currently all on the screen. 2 duos, and then a full trio in the form of the Giants, the Goliaths out west. But right now you can see Snacky and Fabs trying to stay hip to hip. Fabs gets obliterated. Snacky follows him soon. They're down. That's in 14th. We'll hop back on board. Makata and Midi trying to do it all as a duo. We saw Bernie end up getting picked up on that 5th zone rotation, trying to make it over there, getting caught out. And right now, they're doing it all with 5 eliminations. And they have a good positioning, but not a lot of builds. As we go back to that wide, we can see we'll swing over 3rd place. Archimrex Epic Whale, here they go. They're looking for the high ground take, but immediately it gets smelled out. So instead, they try and get ahead of it. You can see it. They're looking for the angle, looking to punish it. Not quite going to get the knock, but sees that it goes down. Instead, going to opt to drop to another tarp, as Rex is going to pick up Monk, be able to get the refresh, and they head back to the front of zone.
They wanted that high ground. They got dissuaded for now, but you can tell they wanted Arkham Dog. It's going to go down all of a sudden. Up above, Frappe says no thank you. They're trying to carry him in, though. They've got this. Their builds are there. This is going over old. This can be a pickup, but at what cost? Do they have any sort of things to make it happen? Falcon are going to fall as well. Look at the floppers though on Alithi. If this goes to a heal off, they are going to win. 4 floppers up above. They just have to play it well. The eliminations coming through. Alithi is going to find Hob down below. Arkham is going to be able to pick up, but look at their HP. They're so low. They don't have wide HP. Will fall again. That's going to be Rex this time. Epic Whale trying to go through. Reminder, every point they get right now closes that gap, puts them closer to the lead. A 108 going to come through. They go down. Arkham with 1 HP trying to make something happen. Will pop minis. That zone cannot touch him for more than a second. The edit down going to come through. There's the second, and they are gone. They are out in their points right there. They tried to close that lead, but now Alithi, Krizix, and Frappe are fighting to get back into this tournament. They did not have the best first game. They were in 17th place coming in, but this could put them into that top 10. But Regulator, Trix, and Moni, a 7th place with everybody out ahead of them. This is also a chance.
Yeah, they're trying to put themselves back up into that conversation for the top spot, but right now, Alithi doing it, 8 elimination, all the floppers. Zone continues to pull away. However, as we've moved away from some of the older builds, they are running low on materials. It's just a little bit of wood, and as they say that, Alithi drops down knowing they get the confirmation on Nico. You're guaranteed the 15 mass from the Siphon, so immediately gonna drop down and pick it back up, and on top of getting the builds, he gets gifted all of the floppers, and he's just gonna drop it out. They're getting it onto Frappe, saying, here's the heals, I'm the fragger, I'm going down. So it's a 3v3, and honestly, I don't think you go down in challenge. Don't give them Siphon, don't give them the opportunity. Unless this has to go to the end game, they know for a fact they have the heals. There is no possible way you beat a medkit in 6 floppers at this stage. Nobody else has that amount, but Silly Tricks, Moni, and Regular don't want to hear any of that. They said, we're in 7th place, everyone else is down. The VR here plus any eliminations puts us back in the conversation for that 25k, for that Axe of Champions, and Alithi is going to drop down and start looking for tags because he only has the 1 build, and he's just going to completely whiff there. Moni instead going to end up finding it, trying to get around the side there, not quite going to get it, as Silly Tricks is going to end up closing it out. 9 eliminations and the victory royale coming out from our 7th place trio. And for the 2nd match in a row on day 2, a team just outside the top 5 has done everything, got in the VR, and put themselves in the conversation.
That was such a great play, and you said it, they didn't need to drop down from high ground, but they wanted those eliminations, they wanted to secure it, and all of them going down at the same time ended up giving that victory over to Trix, Moni, and Regulator. And that, again, once again, is going to shake up the leaderboard, and we need Zeke, we need Shia, we need Kelly to show us exactly what happened.
Friends, what a crazy game there. Listen, I'm enjoying NA West right now, okay? It doesn't feel like yesterday's games where there's just like these 2 or 3 trios that are pulling away. They're just winning everything and making it not a fair competition. No, everyone else saying, listen, stop them. This is an anime. We can't let them pull away from us. Bring them down. I like it. I've been enjoying the action. You know I've got to get an anime reference in there, Shio. You know I can't not do it.
Dude, absolutely, and that one was kind of like a complete reversal. It's what you expect on, the craziest arcs. Like, we had some crazy flopper plays. I think there was 8 in total with Alithi and Frappe together. I guess their duo name would be Alithi. Rolling in, they had the chance to just play that heal game, but they went for the aggro play, Kelly, and it didn't work out that time.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before where they're like these teams are able to grab a victory royale with 15 eliminations, and it kind of shoots them up. And I know that they were in 7th place before that game, so maybe they were feeling, or even below that, so maybe they were feeling like they needed to grab those eliminations to bring themselves up. But that definitely seemed to be a little risky there, and it didn't end up paying out. I don't understand why you would have 7, 8 floppers and then not use them, but that's just what happened.
Sometimes, heat of the moment, decisions are made, and that's okay. We saw plenty of games to fix these mistakes, but now we're busting out an oldie but a goodie. That's right, Fortnite fam. It's time to go to the Wager Link School of Learning. That's right. Take it away.
Hey, class is in session. The first entire course will be an introduction to a Trio 101. This one's rolling in. We have Baka, Vernie, and Midi. They're running over at the gas station at the same time towards the Misty Hydro side of the map. A huge split that we saw. An EU Trio also used to end up winning out an entire region. They're going to actually split apart the entire way. Also taking a little bit off of Slurpee as well. And you can see the drop is huge. That first game was also a big pop-off, Kelly. And they're playing really strong on day 2.
Yeah, they started off day 1 with a 5th place game, 9 eliminations, but then they kind of floundered a little bit, even getting a 30th place finish. But towards the end of the day, they started picking it back up again, grabbing a ton of eliminations. And then, of course, you saw it, game 7 there, grabbing that victory royale with 11 eliminations. And, of course, they did it from height. Not too surprising right there.
Yeah, they just definitely locked it down. Sometimes you might get distracted by your inventory, but for these guys, they were focusing on the players. You heard Sundown call it too, like fish in a barrel. They were diving down and making sure they were grabbing those fish, not only with their hands, but basically with their mouths, Kelly. They were getting up close and personal with these shotguns. At the very end, Midi had a very nice, patient play. The small fry tech, waiting for the big shot. The air might have missed, but the tech never does. That's huge. They'll bump up to 5th place overall.
Red
198
alert.
Points that last game. They got 12th up top though, Kelly.
Red alert.
Arkram, Rex, Epic Whale.
Red
they're
alert.
swimming high and mighty.
It's absolutely mind-blowing to me that this team, who still has not placed above 3rd, but not below 10th, is somehow able to just shove every other team out of the way and say, yeah, you might have your victory royales, you might have your cool solo plays, but we have points, we have eliminations, and we are making sure that we make it to the end game as a solo, as a duo, whatever it is. And they did get punished. The fact that they got punished, they tried to steal height last game, and they didn't do it successfully, even going down. I believe Frappi was able to take down Arc as a punishment for that, and they say, whatever, we're still going to take 1st place from you.
Yeah, and I didn't say class was over. Every other team is operating with subtraction. They're having 1 or 2 maybe bad or low performing games. These guys are only adding, I feel like, going over the multiplying. It's always points they gain in their games. It's always top 10 as well. It's huge all the way up in 1st place. All the way down to 5th, we have a few shakeups, but on the 2nd page after that, 40R Storm kind of graduating, moving up the ranks. 11th now is the highest we've seen this trio overall on the 2nd page. Past that as well too, we have Poffy, Eclipse, Smock 14th. Zinc and Temple, they're kind of middling around in 13th, trying to break that barrier. Frappi, Lithium, and Quizix, though, with that 2nd, boost up to 144th or 144 points in 12th place, Kelly. It's a chance for these guys to clap back.
And it's always a shame to see those teams in our 10th through 20th spot right there with a victory royale seem to be floundering a little bit. Glaze, Domo, and Sightly had such a good start to day 1, and they just seem to have lost their footing. I actually think that it's come down to drop spot contention, if I'm not mistaken, Shayo.
Yeah, drop stock contestation, I also like to call it sometimes, made up words. It makes it very difficult for you to play out your games. If they figure it out though, Kelly, right? The reason they're also on that 2nd page and not the 3rd and the 4th is because they have that VR. They have the potential and have a few more games to strive for it. Many different teams can still close the gap. We're not even halfway through the 2nd day, Zeke, so there's definitely a lot more flopper action, fish grabbing action from the low ground. Crazy anyway stuff to do.
I just don't get it. Like, they set themselves up for victory. Why would you have that many floppers and then drop down from height a little bit foolishly? But you know what, Zeke? That's just one game out of many. Oh, Shayo.
No, I was gonna say sometimes you gotta go for gold. Absolutely go for gold. Win or not, you gotta get the elims.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes the standings, they just flip-flopper back and forth. But you know what? It's time to reel in the competition because game number 3 is underway. Clay Sundown, continue the fish puns, please.
We're not going to reel in anything here because we're going to need a bigger boat, Zeke. The hype is too much. It's dragging us away, and unless somebody gets a gas canister and blows it up in the hype space, I think it's just going to grow to astronomical proportions because the Giants, as we talked about yesterday, what they have in common with Angels and Trains, they're powerful and they go in one direction. With 100 Thieves, Arkham, Rex, and Epic Whale straight to the top. And everyone else is now going to be forced to play catch-up, which is terrifying because they haven't really had that signature game yet that they tend to always put their stamp on every single FNCS.
And they have a great opportunity to make that stamp right now, and this could be it. They know. They've got to know they're in first after that game. And with an uncontested POI, with zone pulling not in their favor, but better than those teams at Steamy's favor, this is a game. This is definitely the game that they could do it in. And we get to see, look, the lead is only 6 points. But for them, that might just be enough.
And we've seen almost, I think, every single match. It's been close. Might want to double check that if production can give me the stat. But I think we've had a lead change after almost every single match. There might have been one where somebody was able to hold on to the back-to-back. But it's been so close. And we talked about it coming in, how realistically the top 5 all had a shot. Well, after the first 2 matches today, I mean, we're on match 9 now. There's 4 more, including this one. It's still realistically anybody now in the top 6, maybe even arguably the top 7, depending on who's able to win what matches. This is really close.
This is going to come down to that last game like we saw in other regions today. Holly Hedges, though, coming in strong. We've seen it contested so many seasons in a row, and this is one of the first times we've seen it uncontested. But Midi going to go down there, pushing a little aggressively. Actually, no, I was wrong. Midi just caught out on rotation. They got pushed. You know, Paul and Skadoo say, we want those eliminations this time.
Well, and it's something we talked about when we first saw the split. We were like, okay, so you have one guy up at the Hydro Dam, and you have one guy all the way in the southwest corner of Slurpy Swamp, and you have one guy up by the isolated gas station. It's like, well, you're taking a ton of space, but if one person gets caught out, you're just done. And that's what happened to Midi there. He's going to have to sit back, relax. And the worst part is, on such a wide split, there's not a realistic opportunity for one of his trio mates to come over and pick up that reboot card. You're basically just totally out.
And I think his trio mate may be up above, like at that gas station we talked about, but that team sitting right there continuing to farm up is going to deny that opportunity. Domo, Glace, and Unsightly, though, did go from winning a victory royale to back and forth fights here. And Slurpee, they're trying to make it their way this time, but Domo really weak, Glace really weak. Now Unsightly going to fall pretty low, 118 HP for them. They are in Slurpee Swamp, but there's no more barrels to be farmed out over here. They really don't have a lot of options. Toxic Hyper and Pearl are trying to put this damage down. Look at this, 2 builds remaining. Glaze trying to make the play, but the shot going to be denied. The quick edit there. They can't really afford for these builds to break. They don't have stuff to really put back there, and this is just a matter of time. But all of a sudden, Glaze going to get a beam back in his favor. Takes a lot of damage, but that was almost that player falling.
And now he's also completely out of map, so if he gets picked off, if somebody gets a line of sight on him, that's it. He's done. He's going to try and refarm the wall. Will get enough for one build, but he can hear them stomping above him. If they break out that ramp, it's going to be really hard for him to replace it. He drops down. He's going to get picked up. Hyper, brilliant job baiting the slurp barrel in the truck, knowing that they're going to be low HP, and they're finding a trade here on site, like trying to get onto it, but he's also going to be picked up. That's the primal shotgun ripping him apart there. Domo gonna go down, and I think what might be the first time in like 5 or 6 matches, Hyper, Pearl, and Toxic have made it off spawn. They ended up picking up a couple eliminations. They're going to be able to take up that fight. And now we're going to swing over to another fight that's going on. You can see Kafikoi and Godku deciding that, hey, pushing over to Weather Station is not enough. They're pushing all the way down to Camp Cod with the aggression. And they're doing it with not a whole lot in the loadout. So they're really taking aggression to a new level here.
And Cloxic in the feed, unfortunately, going to fall there to Mojo. I was going to mention how Midi and them not going to be able to impact that area, but still another trio coming in. Slurpee's so valuable. So is Camp Cod. This area has so many mechanical parts, so many mats as well. And with where it is on rotation, it's kind of got a priority on that back side there of the south side of the island. Kaku, though, You said it. Does not have a lot to work with. That primal shotgun not going to be what he wants when it takes a big pump right there to the face. Unfortunately, that shot going to take him down to 3 HP. Can put the damage back down. But really has to get in the face. Cug going to go down very low. They have gone into an island that they don't know the layout of. Elimination. Gaku trying to operate, but he's a non-factor right now. As Sequoia going to fall, gets 2 shots off, but that's it. They're back.
Yeah, and what are you going to do with a Primal Shotgun in 3 HP? The Primal Shotgun, the only thing it's really effective at is if you're able to get box to box and just out-trade somebody with the pressure from it. But if you have 3 HP, a stiff breeze will eliminate you from the game and knock you down, and that was really all it took there. So unfortunate and very uncharacteristic, as we talked about yesterday. They did so well at clearing space. They came in, I believe they were 4th coming into the day, but so far, they're just not finding anything without those early elims coming from the early aggression, and to kind of end up going back through, checking it out. There have been 7 lead changes over the course, so after the first 2 matches, the lead has changed every single time. There have been 5 different trios who have held that first place, so kind of talk about that top 5, top 6 shupening, and everyone just rotating